Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. How you doing today? That guy right there is Jessie Lee Peterson. Jessie Lee Peterson is a author, pastor, right-wing extremist. He say he's more right-wing than even Nazis. This black man said he's more right-wing than Nazis.
I'm so far right that I made the alt-right look good.
Well, I mean, I doubt you're a Nazi, but okay.
Might be.
Political commentator, the host of the Fallen State and the Jessie Lee Peterson show, which I believe airs on CRTV, which is a conservative right TV program. I guess that's what CRT stand for. But this guy right here, man, I don't know what to say because I don't like to use the word coon lightly. Because when it comes to white supremacy, white superiority complex, racism, Nazism, whatever, all these other isms, in his words, all black people, man, woman, and child are considered coons. That's why I don't like to use the word coon lightly, because really a coon is a raccoon, an animal. And to use that term, you're calling somebody an animal. Well, in the black community, we call people coon too. And we say a person that's a coon is a sucker sellout, a butt kisser. Uncle Tom is another word we use. A Kanyeer. But I can't say that about Kanye. I say Kanye. My thing with Kanye is I think he's just over infatuated with Trump. I don't think it's a black thing with him. Even though some of the things he's said, unknowingly, he may not known, have hurt the black community. And there are people who are in his face, letting him know that what he's saying, propping Trump up, hurts the black community because Trump policies is anti-minorities. Even though people think they are, even though they think that Trump policies is actually going to help blacks, Hispanics, Arabs, and even social communities like the LGBT community and things like that. Jessie Lee Peterson is what most people would call Clayton Bigsby. He is more Clayton Bigsby than Clayton Bigsby. You know who Clayton Bigsby is? He's that blonde, white supremacist, Klan's grand dragon who nobody knew was black because he always wore a hood over his head. That is Clayton Bigsby. Actually, one of the funniest Dave Chappelle skits I ever seen in my life. Oh, man, just thinking about it. Is this Clayton Bigsby? Yeah. You found him, buddy. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Anyway, that is Jessie Lee Peterson. He said he's more right-wing than even Nazis. This guy right here, and he's a pastor, which means he's supposed to be shepherding people in the right way to go. And if this is the right way to go, bruh, I ain't ever going to your church. I would never ever support you as a pastor. And honestly speaking, I don't see. Anyway, let me get off that. I'm not going to question your calling. But if this is what you preach in the church, it's still preaching separatism and division. Now, you can call me on it, have me on the show. I wouldn't even want to grace my time with your show, bruh. Even if you pay me, I wouldn't even want to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sit there and debate idiots. I was told that when a smart person is arguing with an idiot, when somebody walks by, they don't know who's the idiot. And I'm not going to be put in that situation. But this guy is just disgusting, vile. He craps on black people, claimed that, his own words were, you ever pick cotton. You can never be a man until you pick cotton. This is a black man saying this stuff. A black man saying this stuff. And it disgusts me. And I'm the type of person, look, y'all got to get in his face and let this dude know he's hurting himself. Not only the black community, he's hurting himself. Because the only people that are going to respect him are black conservatives like him, and most black conservatives, not him, because you're looking at a former black conservative. But only people that's going to eat that up is white supremacists. They need an apologist, and they'll rather have an apologist in the black community than an apologist in the white community. And this dude is the ultimate apologist. He went to school, I guess, to be a pastor, and one of the things they teach you is apologetics. And this guy is a master of apologetics, but he's not using it in the biblical sense or in the spiritual sense. He's doing it as a political commentator. And that's the reason why he probably got a best-selling books. Regular black people ain't buying them books. Regular Hispanic. No, it's going to be white conservatives buying that book, because here we got a black man. And we need to listen to this black man. The more black people need to be like him and have his point of view. No, no, no. I mean, let me get into this. Hey, I can work for an organization, but the owner of the organization is racist, and they probably have racist policies on the job. Now, what that got to do with anything? Because you got black people, white people, Hispanic or whatever, working or members of your group, doesn't mean that you yourself is not racist. It doesn't mean that some of their policies are not racist. Racists go beyond skin color. You do know that. You know, push the word racism to the side. Let's talk about superiority complex, because the Proud Boys really believe, as a man, Western culture man, they're superior over everything. I'm a man. I'm from the Western culture. I don't apologize. I'm superior. Now, I'm getting off subject because this video is not about McGinnis. This video is about his guest, Peterson.
It's 2018 in America. Does racism exist?
Absolutely not. And it has never existed.
Whoa!
It has never.
Whoa!
It's a made-up word.
What about the picture in the 60s with the German shepherds on the black guy, the civil rights movement, and the cops, and the guy like that?
Well, that's because you were having protests. Whenever you could have a protest today, and if people go out of control, you're going to see the same thing. It was just a protest. And you're hearing this from a man. I grew up in Alabama. I grew up under the Jim Crow laws. I went to an all-black school. There were signs that says for colors only, for whites only.
That sounds pretty racist.
Yeah. But it wasn't racist. It was a law that was brought about by the Democrats. And they brought that law into effect, and it separated people by law. But yet, most blacks and whites got along. They knew that all white people were not against black people. It was a law, and people just obeyed the law at the time. And when I was growing up, I had to pick cotton. The guys were taking out.
You were born on a plantation.
Have you ever picked cotton?
No, sir.
You have not lived until you pick cotton.
You're being too controversial for me. You're going to get my show taken off the air. It's fun to pick cotton.
It's fun. It makes a man out of you.
Really?
You know, I said once on my radio show that because most blacks are so lazy now, because of the government taking care of them, and then a lot of them are born with single mothers only in the homes, and the mothers don't make them work. And I said, I'm going to go to Alabama, buy some land, create a plantation, and I'm going to take the blacks back down there to show them how to work and be independent and earn their way. And all hell broke loose when I said that. Oh, he's for slavery, he's for that. But I knew what I meant by that.
Now, Jessie Peterson said racism never exists. Dude. The current Democratic Party right now was actually the current Republican Party right now. There was a switch that had to do with LBJ and some of the Dixiecrats, and you know the whole history about that. It would take me at least 30 minutes to an hour to go through that. I'm not going to go through it right here on the actual shift between Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats back then were actually the Republicans. The only thing switched was the name. The Republicans back then was more left-leaning. They were more social. Both parties in my book are scummy scam parties, and all they want to do is get your money, and they're going to vote against your best interests at every time, even though you vote them in office, and they're going to make you smear you if you don't vote them in office. Both parties will do that. So you can't use that as excuse brought up by the Democrats. No, just take the name out, brought up by the conservatives, because the Democrats at that time was the conservative party. They brought up racist laws. The Jim Crow law was a racist law, bruh. It was the law of segregation, discrimination. It was racist. And for you to say something dumb like that, for you to say something stupid like, I'm going to buy a plantation and get some black people to come to it. But what black person is going to come to plantation with you, bruh? You'd probably sell them out to slavery if you could, if they was on that plantation. So you think the best way to open up the eyes of black people or minorities to go out and work, which most of us do, and the only difference is the income inequality. That's the only difference. Most blacks, most Hispanic work. You thinking that you taking them to a plantation going to teach them the importance of working. Bro, we've been knowing the importance of working from day one. The black community. But you're an idiot, man. And you know you can never go in the black community and talk this trash without some kind of bodyguard. Because you know you'll get your butt whooped, man, with this mess. Now, me, I'm not violent, and I encourage people, leave Jesse alone. That's his opinion. Challenge him on it. Make him look like a fool if you can. Don't go clock him in the eye. But look, bro, I got to tell you, I live in the Bronx, man. You come up here with that stuff, you liable to get more than a clock in the eye. I'm just letting you know. Watch your tone, Doc. Dude, you got to spend more time with black people. Stop get out of the arena of black conservatives, and why don't you start spending time with black liberals, black leftists? But make no mistake, Kanye, the Kanye we knew before Trump ran for office, that brother was all about bringing up the hood, foundations to help black people. What you been doing, Jesse, besides crapping on black people? And you got your little protege out there, Candace Owen, talking just like you. Privileged black people who probably worked their way up the ladder, probably got a break, but you think it was your intelligence that got you that break. No, the grace of God goes out to all. We all have to go through some kind of struggle. And my struggle is different from yours, bro. But just because I don't have your struggle, don't give you the right to look down on mine or anybody else's. And the only person that's buying your bull is black Republicans. Most black Republicans are not buying your bull. The only person that's letting you have your way with this apologetic is white racist people who want to have some kind of cushion, and you are their cushion when it comes to supremacy and their arrogance and dominance over black people and culture in general. Now, this is not all white people. I'm talking about white extremists, white supremacists. They may not even know they're supremacists, but their thinking is, we did all this. No, don't know the statistic of white people. More white people are on public assistance than anybody else. More white people are unemployed, just about unemployed as black people. More white people commit crimes in the United States than black people. Most white people do extreme crimes than black people or Mexicans. And Donald Trump with that punk ad that punk came up with, that Willie Horton type ad, trying to make it seem like all Hispanic are trying to come into our borders when they're actually going to a processing center somewhere off Mexico, trying to make it seem like they're trying to bum rush America. That's another story, man. And fake news and things like that. I mean, you get me with that.